My name is Myres. I'm 21 years old and I was born in Reno, Nevada.
My name is Myres. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Sparks, Nevada.
I'm Myres. I'm originally from Arkansas. And I am 52 years old. Okay.
I'm Myres. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm 54.
I currently serve in the Nevada Army National Guard.
I'm in the National Guard.
I served in the Army for 4.5, almost 5 years. And then I was served out the rest of my contract in the Oregon National Guard and then the Nevada National Guard.
And I joined the Army and served 4 years active duty and 4 years in the National Guard.
I joined the armed forces because I wanted to be able to go to college and I wanted to go play with fun toys like drive big trucks and shoot big guns.
I joined the armed forces because, one, I'm a very patriotic person, so I wanted to serve my country, you know. I feel like that's a really big deal. And then also, I'm in the National Guard, so I get free college tuition, so that's a really good benefit that I have.
I chose to join the Army specifically, I think because they had a really good college tuition program at the time. And my family is all Army.
Yeah, I chose the Army mainly because they had a better program in, kind of controlling my own destiny.
My MOS is 88 Mike. I'm a motor transport operator.
My MOS is 31 Bravo, which is military police. And I'm basically going to be a police officer, but, in the military.
My official job in the military was called a 62 Bravo, which is a heavy construction equipment mechanic.
My job in the military was a 63 Sierra heavy wheels mechanic. So pretty much anything that had rubber.
The motor pool.
The motor pool.
I got into racing with Vora back when my dad started racing in 2011. I was 9 years old and he started racing that expedition, the bullfrog we call it. And he broke his back that same year, but ever since then we've been racing. When I was a kid, I would help out in the pits. And finally, 5 years ago, I got in the cars.
I got into racing when I was a baby, grew up around it. My parents always did it, and they always, were like, here, have some of this. And I was, I always did racing. I was from growing up to, now.
I started off-road racing after I married this guy.
I got into off-road racing later in my life. I've always wanted to do it, and I had a chance and an opportunity to start building a truck in 2006 with my father. Unfortunately,
Oh boy, you still get choked up about that. It's good. He didn't get to see the finished product. And they worked on it together for over 5, 6, I think even into 7 years of building our first race car. His dad was always there. We got to use his house, his garage. He was very supportive. And he used to take Matt off-road racing when Matt was just a little kid. And it's been in his family ever since he was a child. So his dad was a big part of that. And it was a bummer he couldn't see us race the first car.
it can be a song, it can be anything, it can be a picture, just something fucking good question.
My favorite race course would probably have to be Fallon. It's cool to go back out there after my dad broke his back and actually race it and conquer that track, but also because it's super fun. It's a very fast track and it's technical in some spots, but those rollers are super fun. You just have to be careful so you don't hurt yourself.
I don't really have a favorite course. I'd have to say Fallon, because that's the one that I raced. But, it's the only one I've been on, so I'm not, so Fallon.
I really do like Fallon. Fallon has been on this circuit ever since I've been involved in it. It's got some rollers that make you feel like you're on a roller coaster ride. It's got a little bit of everything for silt and good old Nevada terrain with rocks and shale where you feel like you're slipping a little. So, You get to jump a little, slip a little, slide a little.
Yeah, my favorite course to race kind of bounces around. Balance kind of like facing the demon. That's where I got hurt. So every time I race there, I love that track, but man, I know in the back of my head that it bites. You know, it'll bite if you're not careful.
My plans going forward with racing is my dad's gonna probably give it up at some point, and I'd like to take over the team. So whether that means with this car or a different car, I don't know yet, but we'll see.
I think my plans going forward in racing are to get more involved, because I haven't been super involved lately in the last couple races. So I definitely want to get back into it because it was a lot of fun getting in the car. So I'd like to get back in at some point, but it just kind of depends.
My plans moving forward in racing. We kind of got to a level that's demands money and attention.
Yes.
Really, really happy to have Jay's Total Car Care on board this year with us, and there's been talk that they'll continue on, and where do we go from here next year? We're in for this season.
Just more about making even more memories, letting our son Cade drive maybe more as he kind of gets his head wrapped around, having respect for the car, respect for the desert, not getting too far ahead of himself. But that's what we all do. That's what I've learned doing racing. You have to keep your head wrapped around what's happening with the car and everything around you. So as far as moving forward, I think we'll finish out the year strong. We're going to push hard to get that championship if we can. Definitely the goal is always to finish a race and never talk to medical personnel.
Working with Jay, it's definitely a step up from where I was. I was working at a dealership basically as like a glorified lube technician. I was just doing big mileage maintenance services, but with Jay, I've actually gotten to dip into a lot more mechanical repairs. I did a few over at the dealership every now and then, but that's pretty much all we do at Jay's, so it's kind of refreshing to have those big jobs and then you get them completed and you know that the customer's getting what they want back.
Best part about working with the crew at Jay's Total Car Care is that even though they haven't been exposed to off-road racing except for my son, and they haven't been exposed to what race cars are all about, kind of where you want to focus your efforts, those guys are a great group of skilled technicians. And so you don't have to get into the pun intended, the nuts and bolts about how to actually get stuff taken apart and put back together. So much. You got to pay attention and focus on the specialties of the car, but you can legitimately trust that these guys can actually get stuff bolted together without having to micromanage every bit of the assembly and the prep.
I think the best part about working with the crew at Jay's Total Car Care is knowing that our car is in a safe stall there at Jay's shop. It's on a lift. We can get underneath it. We can crawl on top of it. It just makes our job so much easier. And the crew, they gel really well together. They're fun to be around. Like Matt said, they're all really good technicians. They know the basics about mechanics. And my hope is that they're actually learning more about different tools, different fabrication techniques. Matt's been teaching them little tricks about welding and how to unbend something the right way, and just how to properly do things on the race car that require a lot more attention to detail and just very, very specific, specialized kind of work that you need a good technician to do. And so far, everything is coming together okay.